Hey guys, it's Jason. Hope you're doing well. So, we've done the infield positions. Now we're going to work our way to the outfield, okay? I'm doing top 5 rankings for top 5 position players in Major League Baseball for every single position, including DH and pitcher, starting, reliever, and catcher, heading into 2020, okay? There are obviously going to be some guys that don't make the list, but I think a top 5 list would be a little bit more, just a little bit more easy to get through than a top 10 list, okay? And should you enjoy multiple positions, I'm keeping the video short and sweet so you could watch multiple videos if you want, okay? I put a few of the videos down in the description below, but if you want to see the other ones and you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button and click the notification next to it, okay? So that you not only have access to all the videos that I put out, but you know when I put out the next ones as well, okay? So the infield positions are all done. Keep an eye out down below for a couple of them, and again, hit that subscribe button if you want to see the rest, okay? But for today, we're going to go over the center fielders, the top 5 center fielders in Major League Baseball heading into 2020, okay? And like I said in some of my other videos, you're going to see a lot of familiar names. But you'll see on occasion a name that's not so familiar. You might be thinking to yourself, who's that? The reason why I do it on here instead of putting out a video of somebody diving or hitting a home run is so that you actually can look up the person on the list and see why they're in the top 5. You can say, okay, look at that offensive production. Look at that defensive production. You could look at the WAR, whatever's important to you, the OPS, all different types of things. You'll see why these guys are on the list. Okay, but everybody on my list are equally offensive, equally effective players on the offensive and the defensive end. Okay, they're great on the field and great in the plate. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to work my way up from 5 to 1. My number 5, been around for a little while now. Established veteran on a good team, the Milwaukee Brewers, Lorenzo Cain, probably one of the best defensive center fielders in quite a while. And you're talking about like Torrey Hunter level and players like that, Jim Edmonds level. I mean, those guys had ridiculous gloves, and this guy has a ridiculous glove. And he's also equally effective on the offensive end as well. And he's in a good lineup on a perennial playoff team in the Milwaukee Brewers. And he's my number 5. Right? My number 4, another solid veteran player, George Springer from the Houston Astros. He could easily be higher, but in my opinion, with the Houston Astros, advantages that they've enjoyed and are now starting to kind of take responsibility for, even though it doesn't really sound genuine, they could be higher on the list, but one reason they're pegged down is because of that stuff, because I don't really know how many of them took advantage of it and whatnot. And the fact that coaches and managers were suspended and fired, but players were let off scot-free, doesn't really sit well with me. I don't know. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but nevertheless, he's still a productive player away from Houston as well. So we'll see how he does without the advantages this year. And we'll see how well they're held in check. But he's my number 4. And he's obviously been successful on the offensive end and defensive front. Plus, he's a clutch hitter. So clutch hitting is key. And this might be a name that you're not very familiar with. Ramon Laureano, Oakland A's. Okay, this is why I say look him up. You'll see why he's on the list. You want to see some great offensive production, you'll see that. You want to see some great defensive plays, you'll see that as well. And he's one of these guys that's in this lineup filled with talented players. Matt Chapman, Marcus Semien, they're pretty much a 100-win team, and they're it's one of these teams where hardly anybody can name any player on their team. It's crazy. So I personally never heard of the guy until about a couple weeks ago, and then I started looking him up and kind of figuring out why he's going to be on this list is because of the things that he's done and one of the things that he's continued to do, and I think he's on an upward track like a lot of the other Oakland A's players. So, and again, the A's are my pick to win the AL West in 2020, so I would look out for them. They're going to be a good team. So, Ramon Laureano, Oakland A's. Number 2, this is where you have pretty much the 2 best players in baseball virtually. You could flip or flop these, but Cody Bellinger, National League MVP from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And now that you have Mookie Betts in the lineup, could you imagine having to go through Betts and then Muncy and then Bellinger and then Turner or Lux or any of these guys. Seager, right? Jock is no longer there, but that lineup is ridiculous now. And again, he's another 35, 40 home run type guy. He might be a guy to hit 45 or 50 one of these days. But again, he's just like these other guys, great on the offensive and the defensive side of the baseball. Clutch player, and he's got playoff pedigree, and he's one of the best players in baseball, in my opinion. Okay, and the number one, who's in most people's opinion and list for the best player in baseball, from the Anaheim Angels, Mike Trout. It's really hard to dispute. But it's also, I mean, you can put Bellinger on there and Trout number 2. Either way, these guys are top 3 players in all of baseball. Okay, they're absolute studs, you know. And Trout's, you know, he's on a path to unanimous Hall of Fame. Cody Bellinger, a couple more years like that, he'll be on the same path as well, most likely. But Mike Trout's the number 1 again. He's an absolute stud in the field. He's an absolute stud at the plate. Multiple MVP winner. It's really hard to dispute Mike Trout. It's really hard to not have him number 1 on any list, whether it be WAR, you know, OPS. He's at the top of most every list, and he's a player that you want to have on your team. So this is my top 5. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed it, please click that thumbs up. And again, if you want to see the other list, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't yet, hit the notification next to it. Take a look down below for a couple other videos, for a couple other positions. And again, let me know what you think. If you have a list of your own that you think is a little bit different, put them in the comments below. I want to learn from you guys and gals like you do from me. So I appreciate your support. For my regulars, you guys and gals are the best. Thank you as always. And keep an eye out for the next video. Next one I'm going to go over is left fielders. Okay, top 5 left fielders in baseball. Talk to you next time.